What is insulation resistance testing? Insulation resistance testing. So basically what you do during insulation resistance test is to apply potential difference between both ends or two ends of the insulator, okay? And then you measure the current, since you know the voltage that you applied or injected with respect to the current, then from Ohm's law can determine the resistance of the insulator. So it is that resistance of the insulator that we are looking at, okay, as the insulation resistance. Are we getting it? So the amount of voltage, okay, that you apply that will eventually cause the flow of current in that insulator is known as the breakdown voltage, which determines the dielectric strength of that particular insulator. So this is what you are seeing. This is the test equipment, and then you have the injection point, okay? This is your insulator from one end to the other of the insulator. Assuming this is a cable now, you have the conductor in the middle of the cable. These are the insulator, okay? So you subject between the cable and the other end of the outer circumference of the insulator to this voltage potential, and then you measure the current that will eventually result, okay? So we expect the most minimal current to flow through if the insulation is fine, okay? But as the leakage current is increasing, it means that this insulation is deteriorating. So that is what we actually test, okay? So measure the amount of current that flows through the dielectric, as we said before, from V is equal to I arrow. You can determine arrow from arrow is equal to V, that is V divided by leakage current. That will give us insulation resistance. So this is how you do it. Place one probe on the conductor and then the other probe at the outer layer of if it is cable of your cable, as we said earlier. So if it is between two lines of the cable, between one line and the other, also give you the electric strength, okay, or the insulation resistance of the insulator between both lines. So what is the purpose of insulation resistance test? One, it is used for quality control measures, okay, at the time of the production of the piece of equipment. So as you are producing the equipment, as the equipment is produced, it's expected to have a level of insulation resistance so that when it is used, okay, it will not fail due to poor insulation. So when you receive equipment either newly from manufacturer or supplied by a vendor, or after being repaired by a vendor, can carry out this insulation resistance test to know the quality of workmanship that was done on the equipment. Then during installation too, we can also carry out insulation resistance tests to ascertain that all the electrical components and assets that we are installing, okay, will be able to withstand the voltage pressure that they will be subjected to. They will not result to insulation, that will not result to insulation failure and thus liability problem in the course of so during periodic maintenance, as we outlined earlier, you can also carry out insulation resistance tests. And also when there are problems, trying to determine the cause of the problems, you can carry out insulation resistance tests. So types of insulation tester, we have the manually cranked tester. Here you turn the crank to generate your own voltage, okay, that you inject into the circuit that you are testing. Also have the electronically operated. This one is battery, they are battery powered, okay. So you press when you do the appropriate connection, okay, one probe here, and then there is this particular probe be here, then the black probe be here. Okay, and then when you connect them to the equipment or wherever you want to test, or the component that you are testing, then you press the injection, that is the test button. Okay, so when you press the test button, it will do your IR test for you. So this is what you are actually doing, subjecting both ends of the insulator to voltage difference. Remember, what you are injecting is a DC voltage. So you cause realignment of this dipole. Insulation resistance, okay, will be gotten from dividing the voltage that you applied with leakage current that will flow, okay, in the circuit. When you apply the DC potential, there are actually three types of current that will be flowing. As you apply the potential, okay, there will be, remember, what you are doing is creating like a capacitor-like arrangement, because you are placing potential difference at both ends of the insulator. So as you are placing voltage difference or potential difference at both ends of the insulator, all the insulation molecules will be realigned. Are we getting it? So there is a charging current that will drop over a few seconds. Okay, so that charging current, as it's flowing, is what is represented here. It will also be measured also, okay, or will be reflected in the ammeter. Then the absorption current too, which is the realignment of these dipoles as you apply the voltage difference, because you see that like poles will be repelled and unlike poles will be attracted. So that realignment, the movement that is caused by that realignment, will cause some current also to be recorded. Okay, remember, current is the flow of charge, and of course the one that is of interest to us is the leakage current of that is through the insulator itself. So we have these three currents flowing at the same time. So we'll see the importance of knowing this and knowing when to actually take your reading, because these two, they are not of interest to us. These two, the capacitive current and the absorption current, that is not of interest to us, because that does not reflect what is happening within the insulator. It's only the leakage current, okay, that will increase as the deterioration of the insulation is. So this one is what is of interest to us.